Good morning, Eagles. On last week's Morning Jolt, we talked about reestablishing classroom norms as we transition back to mostly in-person learning. We discussed how our students will need some help reacclimating themselves to being in a classroom with so many of their peers again, and how they will need a refresher on how in-person classrooms function. Today, we are taking this a step further and are discussing how to enforce these norms that you have created in your classroom. Hopefully, by this point, you have given some serious consideration on how you want your classroom to function when you have students there, and how this will look different than it has in years past. It would be a good idea to pay particular attention to routines that will be impacted by social distancing, like partner work and using shared materials, and by having a few students who are still remote, like how work will be disseminated and collected. Similarly, in thinking about those routines for you as a teacher, our students are going to be looking for those routines and expectations as well. And speaking with students, many have mentioned that they are most nervous about playing school. Some have not sat in a desk or been asked to give their undivided attention to schoolwork in over a year. So the reprisal of their role as student is something we need to reteach. Chris Zook, in his slightly outdated article entitled 8 Wildly Successful Classroom Management Strategies for 2020, speaks to first step compliance as an effective way to begin class on the right foot. First step compliance lets you establish a start to your class period while immediately drawing student attention to you. This idea is great for getting students engaged from the get-go of every class, and it's surprisingly simple at how effective it is. Essentially, you begin class with a simple command like, "Everyone's eyes on me," or "Look at the board," which cues the students that class has begun and you mean business. Zook specifically recommends a "look here" command for this, likening it to a hypnotist making a suggestion to their subject, and notes that people tend to attend more to things they are instructed to look at. Todd Finley, in his Edutopia article, 19 Big and Small Classroom Strategies, also compares the teacher issuing commands to a hypnotist and encourages teachers to give an individual command, wait for compliance, then issue an additional command. After you've captured their attention and have all of your students attending to you, be prepared to walk them through transitions between activities. In addition to setting up expectations for how students move around your room and turn to a partner, it's important for you to have a script for what you say to keep your students focused and the transition smooth. We like to start with the phrase, "in a moment," because this makes the students pause and attend to your directions before immediately jumping into what you will tell them to do. After you explain what they will do in a moment, then give them explicit direction, like "go," so they know that it is time to do what you have just explained. The last classroom strategy that is really important is to practice follow-through. Our students need to be able to trust and respect our word. For them to do this, they need to see us following through in all aspects of our classroom expectations. As you establish your classroom norms, make sure you are picking ones that are important to you and how you want your classroom to function. If you decide work needs to be turned in before class begins, or hands need to be raised to be called on, or you want phones away before class starts, you need to make sure that these expectations are communicated and then are followed and reinforced by you. This helps our students feel safer because they know what is expected. Do you have classroom management ideas that you'd like to share? We'd love to hear them. Please drop by the tea room in C235A anytime to chat with us. Until next time, Eagles, we'll see you in the tea room.